This is Entertainment Roundup for Sunday, the 26th of January. It's hard to believe that we are almost end of January. I just feel like we just started January. That's how fast this month have went by for me. But again, we got some stories that hit the airwaves. Five I'm going to be touching on. Some new, some old, and some I kind of wish I didn't have to touch on, but what the hell? I might as well talk about it first. And that's Justin Bieber. You know, after reading this from every damn newspaper that came out, after seeing the Archfiend's video, which, by the way, I agree 100% with him, after hearing the cry that he should be kicked out of the country, this is actually some newspapers that have reporting this. Um, After hearing that he compared himself to Michael Jackson, which, how dare he? I know Michael Jackson had his own problems, but Michael Jackson is far more talented than you, bro. But just after hearing this report, that is just spiraling and all over the entertainment world, not to mention the other mass media, and after hearing his fans, who are young, and probably doesn't understand the seriousness of what this 19-year-old singer have done, I decided to talk briefly about the story, but also give an open letter to Justin Bieber himself. Because I believe now, and I think everybody else believes, that he's taken advice and taken a path that is more destructive to his career than I think what he realized. This is just me, gentlemen. Let me read a piece of the article. I will leave a link so you can read the rest. But I think this is pretty much explains it all. Bieber, 19 years old, was arrested in Miami Beach, Florida early Thursday morning. According to TMZ, the cops stopped him for drag racing in a residential neighborhood. Keep that in mind, gentlemen. He was drag racing. That's what stopped him. After he left a nightclub, he was given a field sobriety test and failed. Bieber was apparently incoherent, kept his hand on his pocket, resisting arrest without violence. Miami Beach Police Chief Raymond Martinez told the Miami Herald tests showed he was under the influence of drugs. So we got drag racing and we got under the influence. Two very bad combinations. But let me continue here, because I want to read the rest of the second paragraph. In the report, the officer stated, I immediately smelled the odor of alcohol emanating from the driver's breath and bloodshot eyes. The driver had shown a deliberate movement and had a very tiresome look on his face. I asked the driver to exit the vehicle. He continued to continue my investigation of a possible impaired driver. The driver stated, why the F are you doing this? The article also said that the kid needs help. Spokesperson Bobby Hernandez said. Hernandez said that the pop star endured a blocked traffic in the area, so the singer could have space to speed. Good job, Justin Bieber. You really know how to pretty much put yourself in attention. What's even more ironic is when you see the picture of the mugshot of Justin Bieber, he has this stupid smile on his face that even makes me even more angry. More so than the fans who have actually support this guy for doing what he's doing. And that is why I agree with what the Archfiend has said in this video, because he hit it right on the nail. There's no concern about what this man could have done. You could have heard he could have killed himself. He could have killed a person walking by, or could have rammed his car into another car, killing that passenger inside. These are all possibilities that could have happened. The best thing that probably could have happened to him is getting pulled over by a police officer and being put into custody. And yet, I see this picture and I see how he comparing himself to Michael Jackson, how he just doesn't get it. Now, before I continue this open letter, I'm going to make this very clear. I am not a Justin Bieber hater. If you look at most of my videos, or even pretty much all my videos, I have made not one attempt to talk about Justin Bieber in any negative light whatsoever. I may confirm that his music is not for me. I make no bones about it. His music is not my taste. I understand that he has his fan base, young and old, and I really don't care. If this is what you like, that's fine. But let's not be blind by the fame in front of us. This man is on a self-destructive path. He has been for a couple of years now. When I saw him give that speech last year on the Billboard Award, it raised its eyebrows because I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. He has done things that was very destructive, and this is part of that. Again, I think I mentioned this in this video. There are actual newspapers that say he should be kicked out of the country for what he has done. Keep in mind, he's not an American citizen, and some of these papers are actually literally asking for him to be deported. Now, I don't think it's going to come down to that. I mean, the government is not going to say, oh, he's going to be out of the country, he's not following the rules and regulations. They could, if they choose to, but I don't see it coming to that. But what I am seeing is, and what I'm seeing is evidence of, is he's trying to change an image of a bad boy, and it's not working. He is not a bad boy. Now, I've seen some of the videos that you have made on YouTube, and I got to tell you, you do have talent. This is me talking directly towards Justin Bieber, and if you ain't listening, I'm still talking about it anyway. You have talent. I am not denying that. You have talent ever since you were a kid. I've seen the videos that you have grown. I even seen parts of Never Say Never when they're displaying your talent. You got a gift. And like most young talent that you have, you can easily excel way beyond what other people have been saying. But what ends up happening here is that you end up listening to the people who, let's be honest, are jealous and really don't want you to succeed and is actually looking for you to fail. You know what I'm talking about. Those people who made those videos on YouTube, making fun of you, poking fun of your style, pretty much saying that you're a wuss. You listen to them more than actually just saying, okay, whatever, and just continue making music and continue to do what I feel you should be doing. And not worry about the other guys because they're going to say what they're going to say regardless. But you paid attention to that. And you decided, in my opinion, to make an image that, one, I ain't buying, and two, is actually causing more harm than good. There is nothing impressive about this article. Nothing. If you think that having this kind of reputation is going to help your career, you are dead wrong. And I don't have to look too far to tell you the examples. Lindsay Lohan was a wild child after she got older, and it didn't exactly help her career. She is still struggling to gain it back. And she made a couple movies now that really never got her back into recognition. In fact, she made a lot of films that pretty much make fun of her career more so. She's trying, but let's be realistic. Her antics, along with hanging out with the wrong people, finally got the best of her. And you're on that same path. You really are. Spinning the camera, basically attacking a photographer for you trying to show a bad boy image that is not even there. And now you have this. And what really bothers me more than anything else is the fact is when I saw the Daily News and I'm seeing this picture that's standing right in front of me right now, you have this damn smirk on your face that pisses me off. Because it's very clear that you have no clue of how dangerous you have put your own life in, your friend's life in, or anyone around that neighborhood in. Now let me go on to the situation of hand that is even more telling. You think the people who hanging out with you and whispering in your ear that you should do this and you should do that, because I believe that the industry is telling you things that let's be honest, has not your best interest at heart. If you think they're your friends, you're wrong. Most of the people you're hanging out with are vultures. They want what you have. And when it's not there anymore, I guarantee you they will be gone. Hollywood and even the music industry, they'll use you up, and then when there's nothing left to use, they'll spit you out and move on to the next big thing. The same thing goes with your fans. If you honestly believe that your fans are going to follow you, even after this antics, I guarantee you, don't have a hit record. Don't be that smash sensation. Don't sell out your tickets as you used to be. Your fans are gone. Even the great ones have realized that. And those you think that will actually come to help you, they won't be around. They won't even lift a finger. You're going to find out the hard way who your real friends are. To me, it's like this. Again, I don't hate you, bro. I don't hate you at all. I've seen your videos. I think you're talented. I think you have it. I'm not mad at where you are. Right? I'm not like one of those other guys who just choose to bash on you just for the sake of bashing you. I'm not going to be that one. But I'm keeping it real. You're in this. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're throwing yourself out there for the wrong reasons. You have this image for the wrong reasons. None of that impressed me. You want to impress me? Make an album that raises my eyebrows. Make a song that says, "Hey, wait a minute, this guy's the real deal." You want some real influence? Look at Justin Timberlake. Look at other stars who went beyond their music after their teenage years, and continuing to do that without the antics and the bad press behind it. Those are the people you should be talking to. Those are the people you should be idolizing to, not these clowns who hanging out with you and not even trying to keep you on the straight and narrow. And as far as the young fans concerned, those who have made those ridiculous tweets, I just got one thing to say to you. You really care for Justin Bieber? You really are a fan of Justin Bieber? Give feedback to Justin Bieber saying, "Yo, knock it off, man." Because all you're doing is making things a lot worse. I always said that sometimes the ones that they actually cheer for you are the ones that can sometimes lead you on a bad path. The fans are the same, are all the same. You can't always cheer blindly for something like this. You got to give feedback with feedback to do. This is a guy who drag race. This is a guy who put his life and everyone's lives in danger. Period. I don't care about if you're the biggest fan in the world. There's nothing justifying this. And the fans, if you really are fans, true fans, you will bring it. You'll let that be known. This man is talented. I'm not going to sit there and say he's not. The videos I've seen of him on YouTube shows that. But the stuff I saw on YouTube during his younger years versus the kid I'm seeing now is two different people. And he needs to wake up. Because as much as he's on that fame and fortune now, can be gone in the blink of an eye. There is no loyalty in the entertainment business. There is none. You are a product. That's what you are, an asset to some of these guys. And once you start becoming a liability to the point where they can't use you, they will just throw you away. And you need to start realizing that. You need to start talking to the real people who have went through that. Some came back and came back strong. Others did not able to come back. And where was Hollywood? Where was the music industry? They were nowhere to be found when in their darkest hours. Those vultures left. I will leave a link below to the article. I know a lot of Justin Bieber fans may not like what I have to say, but it got to be said. And like I said, you're a fan, be a fan, but be realistic at the situation at hand. Know the seriousness that this man had put a lot of people in. He was drag racing under influence. That is not a good combination at all. Fan or not, that's no way to. That's not justification for his behavior. And with that, I move on to something more serious, more, and I'm pulling for Mary J. Blige's family on this because this is something that that is serious. But Thomas Blige, I'm gonna read it right here. The father of Mary J. Blige is reported to be in critical condition after a stabbing. This is a report. I'm going to read the article to you. It says, Father R&B star singer Mary J. Blige is in critical condition after being stabbed early Thursday morning. According to Wood TV 8, Thomas Blige, 63, was stabbed in the neck by an ex-girlfriend during a domestic dispute in the Southside apartment complex in Battle Creek, Michigan. Blige reportedly confronted the woman and accused her of slashing his tires. When the police found Blige in the apartment, he has been stabbed 3 times, including 1 neck injury. The report also says the Battle Creek Inquirer said that he underwent surgery at the hospital nearby, Kalamazoo, Michigan. The Woods report that he is in critical condition. The police arrested a woman who was wearing a blood-splattered clothing at her nearby apartment on Thursday. She was taken into custody and is treated at a local hospital for cuts. According to the Battle Creek Inquirer, she has been jailed. She has been jailed pending in her arraignment Friday at Culver County. There has reportedly been at least 7 domestic violence complaints between Blige and the former girlfriend, who reportedly entered no contest pleas after being charged with aggressive domestic violence against him last October, and was instead to 6 months was sentenced to 6 months probation. Blige has previously described her father as a jazz musician, a Vietnamese war veteran who suffers from post-traumatic stress syndromes. According to biography.com, Thomas Blige abused her mother, have left us when I was 4, but he came back from time to time, abused her some more. She reportedly said in her song "Father in You," Blige sung, "When I was little, you didn't have a father," and that was W. They didn't really finish up the report. So this has been. I will leave a link below so you guys can read it for yourself. There's a few errors, in case you wonder why I paused. It was not actually me. It was actually the article. There was a couple errors that was done here, but you'll see when the minute you click on that pause. So there's a lot of. This is a sad story. It really is. With the domestic violence that's been reported here, with him being stabbed by his ex-girlfriend, this is not something that that one, especially with Mary J. Blige, wants to deal with. We don't know how she's dealing with it. We don't know if she actually made any contact with him, but it's definitely something that is on the radar of the entertainment world, and you hope, no matter what happens, you hope he can pull through. You wouldn't want anything, you wouldn't wish the worst on anybody here. And even though Mary J. did not have a good rapport with his father, you gotta believe that she still in some ways love him and hope that everything is that goes well with him. If there is any update on this report, I will do a follow-up on it. But again, there didn't seem that there's much to be talked about. I read the whole article. It's It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, especially for him, especially for Mary J. Blige. And one can only wonder um, what will happen after that. But again, I'll leave it for you guys to talk about, especially those who have actually followed this. I'll leave a link below. You guys can talk about it right there. But man, oh man, oh man. On to some more controversial news. For you guys here who listen to this, I'm letting you guys know right now I'm not watching the Olympics. For the next 2 weeks, I'm just not gonna touch on that. Um, and it's not even just because of the situation with what's going on in Russia right now with the anti-gay laws, and B, with this possible safety concerns. I'm just really I'm not really into the Olympics. I probably would keep an update on the of course the hockey thing, because that's actually the biggest thing that everybody's gonna be looking at. But it's just not my cup of tea. It's gotten too corporate in my opinion, and it's just not there. But I do know one thing though: the anti-gay law has actually had made center stage there, especially from some of the stuff that pretty much scratched my head from what Putin said. And this situation, in terms of the entertainment world, hasn't made things any better. In case you haven't known, this was done by the Huffington Post, and it pretty much says that a gay Russian artist responds to Garage's magazine racist black woman's chair with the NSFW's image. Now, in case you're wondering what's going on here, I'm going to leave a link, but let me explain this. The picture that you're going to see here, I might as well tell you right now, if you're linking under this, is kind of graphic, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. They really stretch it a little bit with that image. But it says here the gay artist from Russia has created a flip image in response to the controversial photo of Garage Magazine's white female editor-in-chief sitting on a black woman's chair. The Russia editor-chief Garage Magazine, name I will not try and pronounce because it's in Russian and God knows what that says, came under fire for an editorial photo showing her sitting on top of a chair designed to look like a black woman with a belt around her waist and thighs and her legs up in the air. The photo, which offended many, began circulating on Monday, June 20th, which was Martin Luther King's birthday. The editor eventually apologized and called the decision to appear with such a racially insensitive piece of art regrettable. She also reasoned that the designer's name, Benjamin, actual intent was to commentary on gender and racial politics, but some did not find the apology significant. The article also said that a New York City-based photographer and gay activist decided to stage his own response to the outrage. And this is the photo you're going to see if you click on there. And again, it is going to be graphic, so keep that in mind when you click it. Outrageous, tasteless portrait with an image of a naked black man sitting on a naked white man whose legs is folded up to create the chair. And that's the one he responds. So that image is a response image. I was forced to leave Russia because of discrimination I experienced as a gay. Told the person told the Huffington Post. The Huffington, and as you all know, they passed a law, pretty much a very controversial law to this day, is still being talked about. In an email statement Friday, I was disappointed that the tradition of xenophobia is still so strong in my home country that such an image can appear as if it's normal and unremarkable. Russian people do not seem to realize when people offend the principle of color, nationally, sexual orientation, and so on. So there you have it, guys. I I don't know what to say about this and stuff. Wow. If you think that this is something that Russia actually needs right now, I think not. And again, there's already tension going on with the Olympics, with the fact that Russia may not tell us just how safe traveling over there is going to be, especially with threats being done, especially the NFL and how New York has actually tightened their security after the wake of some of the stuff that's going on over there. Um, you would think that someone who actually posts this would actually be mindful of what they're posting. Again, I didn't see this article. I didn't see the one that he's talking about. I'm seeing what the guy have done, and even this one is kind of pushing it. I'm really. I mean, this is very, very. This is very, very cold. A little bit too close. This is a response that even I kind of wanted. The response was a little bit pushing it, but again, this is his way of responding. So be it. I'll leave a link below. But again, I honestly, she did apologize for it, but I gotta wonder. I have to wonder what their motive is, especially with the way a lot of the politicians seem to link homosexuality or paraphernalia. A lot of them does. There's still that false information that is being poured around there between people who are gay. And yeah, in terms of race situation, there is some that inferiority that that blacks are not looked high upon in certain countries, including some parts of Russia. So that's not surprising at all that when I hear that. And it just go to show that that this country, the only one that's dealing with this situation. This is pretty much a global situation that needs to be addressed and addressed fast because again, we're living in a new age, but a lot of people just don't want to move forward, and they're still stuck on that age where it's okay to discriminate or not feel that this is not going to offend certain images and certain articles, and it's not going to offend people. That's something of a big thing. For the how it's going to affect the Olympics, I don't think it's going to affect the Olympics at all. But again, it does raise the question: was that person really doing it under as being racially insensitive or being racist? Period. I'll leave that for you guys to decide. I will leave a link to this article, and let you guys comment on it from yourself. Moving on, I might as well talk about the NFL. New York is getting geared up. They almost finished putting up some of the final touches on Times Square. In case you guys haven't heard the news, Times Square will be closed, I believe, for about a good week. It's now going to be called Super Bowl Boulevard. They're going to be having a lot of special events. WFAN will be hosting their shows in Times Square. I believe the M&M World's building. Fox Sports is going to be there. A lot of other CNN. It's going to be one big extravaganza event. You're also going to have some Broadway shows going to be performing outside. So this is a very big thing. Tourists is going to start pouring in, which helps my business, of course. And of course, you have the big two teams of Seattle and Denver going head to head, toe to toe, and probably one of the greatest battles between the best offense versus the best defense. And I can't wait. Unfortunately, that's not what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about Richard Sherman because Richard Sherman got fined for taunting. Richard Sherman has hit my news wave almost the entire week. And that was something he have said on when he cashed when he did the winning interception that sealed the 49ers' faith. Many people from both sides have commented about it. One side said it's football. What the hell do you expect? They're pumped up. This is a man sport. I'm glad he did this with people saying he was a poor sportsman and such so on, that he had no reason to do that. I'm going to say it is, and I'm just leaving it alone. I didn't care about that. I really didn't. I thought he really did push it with the after the interview. He continued on doing that. He did get fined, and this is something I want to talk about a little bit. But he has been fined an excellent amount of money for taunting. According to CNN, the NFL has fined Seattle Seahawks cornerback a total of $7,875 for taunting, tied to a recent NFC Championship game. The taunting wasn't much about him talking trash on the microphone. It was something about the choking sign, and that I agree with. That was a well-deserved fine, because you can't do that. That's just overpushing it. You can celebrate, but you don't need to do that. It definitely was unsportsmanlike conduct. So I do agree with the NFL on that. As for everything else, I am amazed. I am amazed that people have made this as big of a deal as it is. It just bothers me. For 4 days, the NFL, the WFAN, along with CNN, along with some of the news article, was just hanging on to what this man did on terms of the after the big victory. And I'm like, really, we're really gonna touch on this, more so than we touched on this more than Denver beating New England. And to me, that was a very big achievement, because a lot of people kept saying that if Peyton Manning didn't win that game, then his career, which didn't make any sense to me whatsoever, was tarnished. He will always go down. He couldn't win the big game, even though technically he's been in the Super Bowl twice and he won it once. But they made it sound like that everything he did was nothing if he can't beat the Patriots, which, be honest with you, the Patriots is a worthy contender, and is pretty much a tough opponent. But they won, and they won it big time. And instead of us talking about this, how great this is for Peyton Manning, we're stuck on this. And let me go on record. I think I said this earlier before, during my standalone video. I was really surprised at how much more of a competitive game Seattle and San Francisco was versus the early game, which was Denver and New England. It was pretty much. I was really into this the Seattle game, and I didn't think I was going to get into it. I didn't think it was going to be that much tight of a close game. Because keep in mind, San Francisco led for a good portion of this game, and Seattle took the lead, never looked back. So that was always very concerns me. And now we're hearing with Sherman and everything else, and he's really been given a lot of attention to what he has done. And to me, I have to say, really is not that serious. It really is. Yeah, he talked trash, and yeah, he should have really calmed down, especially after the fact. But I'm not going to go nuts about it. The many people saying that it was the worst thing I've ever seen. Oh, come on, I've seen worse. I've seen worse in the NFL. This was not the worst. I mean, should he have think a little bit, and should he have calmed himself down and just leave it at that? Yeah. Do I believe he should have got fined for that chokehold taunting thing he did? Yes. But other than that, do I think that what he did deserve a 4-day cover of people calling in on WFAN and people making this as the worst thing he could ever do in sports? No. I thought this should have been talked about for 1 day, a little bit, half or two, but then move on to everything else. They clung on to this. It must have been a very slow a week for sports, because they clung on to this like this was the only thing that was going on in the entire sports world. It was like, Jesus, man, come on now. This is getting too much now. This should not have gotten 4 days. This really shouldn't. It wasn't worth the 4-day cover of what Sherman did, so Richard Sherman did. And to me, look, in the further moments, especially when it's been documented that these guys didn't like each other to begin with, what the hell do you expect? Really, what do you really expect? Look, he did it. He did apologize for it. This should have been moved on from that. Really, it's not that serious. Even more so than the complaints that everybody's talking about that football shouldn't be played in the cold because they want it in a more warm environment. Guys, it's football. If you guys can't play in the cold, then you shouldn't be playing football, period. That's my opinion. I can care less. All right, New York has it. I can't wait to see it. I don't want to hear no excuse about Denver not having an advantage or being a disadvantage because Denver playing in cold weather most of the time in the season. So I ain't buying that. But in terms of this with the Sherman thing, yeah, they went overboard. I'll leave a link below. You guys can look at it. It's not. I'm not gonna go too crazy to this. But it basically says that Sherman was paralyzed in the game, putting his hand on his throat, choking Jester, and that's what's the fine that he has gotten. Me at the end of the game, the sideline reporter, we already know what happened. He was talking trash. Uh, it became national news, which I think is stupid, but then again, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we got here. I'll leave a link below. You guys can talk about it. I'll leave a link for you guys. But to me, really, guys, this was not necessarily a big news. Now, on to some final news about Madonna. Some good news that came from her side. Madonna has confirmed that she's performing in the Grammys. The official Madonna will be performing came the news on Friday. The news release and the Record Academy has no other details about the 7-time Grammy winner appearance, however, which has been rumored for some time. Also added the performing lineup also includes Miranda Lambert, Billy Joe, Armstrong. They will also be singing a tribute to Phil Everett. You also have JC, Macklemore, to say a few. So to me, the reason why this is actually news to me, because as you all know, about a week ago, she had made an apology for using the N-word, which I really didn't took too seriously. She had apologized for it, but it looks like the negativity was very brief, and it looks like she's moving on, and she's ready to do what she does best, and that's give her performance. I'm kind of curious on how she will actually come up with a performance. She's always seemed to have a certain style that she always do, especially when she's performing in these awards. I'm also interested in seeing how LL Cool J will do. He's being host of the show, so that's something I'm also curious about. I'm also curious about what JC's performance is. This is going to be very, very interesting to see how that show was going, because I tell you right now, in terms of the music buzz, isn't that much people really pumped up for this year. It's not. It's pretty much been a light talk. I mean, radios are doing their job. They're also talking about it. They're also mentioning it, especially the honor rolls. But in other words, it's been pretty much downplayed this year. So it's kind of curious at how this will all pan out. But again, I will leave a link below. You guys can check it out. It is something that is those of you guys on the music world who wants to share, be my guest. And as always, guys, that's pretty much about it. If you guys have any comments, any feedback on the articles that I have given, by all means, leave a comments below. Let me know. Until next time, guys, it's J77 saying take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.